Hello. It's Monster Garden time. Yes, yes it is. I just realized I don't have my guy up. Hold on. Let me get my guy up. There you go. I am here. I'm present. What's good? Yo. Uh, so, today, I'm in a very puppety mood for some reason. I just really like puppets. I just came up with an idea and I want to explore it a little more and maybe see what we can come up with for it. Um, I had the idea about puppet soldiers, right? That was like a while ago, but I want to like push it further. I think it can definitely go further. Uh, I don't know how they came about, but I had this idea of people that are attached to strings in the sky, right? The same way as like the marionette that I drew that one time. But they they might believe in some sort of god that's like a puppeteer. So they don't know where the strings came from, right? Or where they come from. And they believe the world or what's going on around them to be a great play, some sort of orchestrated story that is being conducted by the puppeteer. And so they choose to adopt a persona for themselves within this play, right? Some might like they all believe they're characters in a performance in a play, so they all just like decorate themselves and clad themselves sort of like stage characters. And I wanted it to be the case that when they die, they don't really die. If they don't get their strings cut, if they get damaged enough, they just get hoisted up into the sky and disappear for a while before coming back down, all good again. Uh, But yeah, something like that. That's the vague idea I have. Some sort of puppet people. They might be like a cult, or some they have some sort of religion or something like that that makes them believe they're in a play, and they act the part. They dress themselves up. They decorate themselves all crazy, and carve their own faces into masks that represent their persona that they are portraying in the play. And I felt that they wouldn't really wear. They could just decorate themselves as wildly as possible because they believe they don't die, right? They just get hoisted back up and then drop back down. So it's not like they have any vital organs or anything like that to protect with armor. Um, and they could just replace their own parts. So they wouldn't. They would just go all out and just be dressed up to the nines with anything they can find. If they go up, wouldn't they find out about their god? I feel like at a certain point they would lose consciousness. You know, I feel like it'd be fun if they don't know what's up there, right? And they sort of believe. Maybe some of them find comfort in the strings that hold their limbs. Like they know there's a greater force conducting them, and so they sort of find comfort in that, knowing that it is sort of out of their hands, and maybe they use that to their advantage to sort of cause havoc, because they sort of can disassociate themselves from what they do. Or some other people might find it not so good, right? They might be contemplating if it really matters what they do, if everything's decided by the strings they are hung on. Like, are they truly in control of their actions, or is it just all a part of the script? It doesn't matter, right? So it's sort of meaningless. they can't see this god due to light or dark. I'm sort of removing logic from the world by just saying there's strings that go up into the sky. Who knows? Right? When they get hoisted up, maybe they lose consciousness or they forget their memories or something like that before they drop back down. So none of them know what's up there. Sounds like a cult. It does kind of sound like a cult. Um, I feel like the idea itself to me is more important than coming up with where they came from. But if we want to think about that as well, I'm completely up to it because it'd be nice to know. Because obviously we have like witches and curses and that sort of stuff. We have the marionette, which is like a curse type of soldier that already is like attached to strings and up in blimps. So what would have happened? Like, are these born people that then get turned into puppets and then lose their memories in the process? Or have they always been puppets? Did they come into the world as puppets? Sort of like, I guess, Nine, that movie, uh, where they just start off like, what? I'm just a puppet, and then they just go with it. They are bound by predestination. Who knows? That's the thing. I feel like different puppet people would interpret their strings differently. It would be sort of they would I okay, if you were one of these puppet people, do you think you would 100% subscribe to the idea of a puppeteer, like a great puppeteer guiding you with the strings? I feel like I would, just to have like something to hold on to. But I guess the the niche uh like feeling their feelings on the strings and being and on the puppeteer would differ from each other, right? I don't like when it's like one note and all of them are just the same because that wouldn't make sense, right? If they're human or they have some semblance of intelligence, they'll have differing thoughts on the matter. So there would be different trains of thought. Some of them think it's a blessing and they're in a great play. They're completely fine to do whatever. They are characters. Some think like sort of think of it as a burden. They feel themselves being bound by this curse of the strings, cord wire holding them if they are cut. Yes, I do think that would be like I think they would be incredibly resilient. They don't have any organs to speak of. I do think their eyes would be organic and their mouth would be organic. Would they eat? Would they eat? Yeah, absurdism or nihilism. Exactly, exactly. Acceptance if they can't get them off. Yeah, something like that. But yeah, if the strings get cut, they die. I think that's how you deal with the puppet people. I think it'd be really interesting to see weapons that are designed to fight against puppet people specifically. Some sort of like bolus launcher, like a rope launcher that ties the strings up because you can basically restrain them by tying their strings together as well. And they can't enter indoor spaces either because they have strings going up into the sky. Is mana involved with them? Probably. I mean, they are puppet people. I feel like there is definitely some weird magic shenanigans going on. But yeah, would they eat? Yeah, like fire would be really bad against their strings, torches, anything like that. I mean, obviously, like the puppet themselves wouldn't just combust into flames. Wood is not that flammable, especially if it's like wet and in the trenches. But like the strings can definitely be like burnt. David Attenborough is 100. He's 100 years old. The fuck? Really? That guy's ancient. What? How's he 100? I mean, good, good. He's healthy and he's still kicking at 100. But damn, I didn't think he was 100. I mean, I never knew his age anyway, but he sort of I thought he was just spawned into the world at that age, and he just looked the same forever. I don't think I've seen him age uh, in real time. He old. Bro is old as fuck. Yeah, I thought he was just. Has he been a child? Was that like a part of his life, or did he just skip that? The other parts of the body can be swapped out? Yeah, could be. He. Sorry. Did I say it? My bad. I do not mean to disrespect the man himself, the man, the myth, the legend, David Attenborough, the Animal Man. I like the umbilical cord thing. What who said the umbilical cord thing? Oh, their strings could be like an umbilical cord so they don't need to eat. Yeah, so okay. So puppet rules. I guess let's establish some puppet rules. Strings are the weak spot. Weak. Um they can be they're very damage resistant. I do feel like I want them to be able to feel pain though. Like I have a God, like puppets with meat inside. Since that Silent Hill boss, I've always been thinking about puppets with meat inside. It's always so good when there's like meat in puppets as a design thing. So maybe they have like nerves inside them. Like think about a puppet face with human teeth inside and flesh. It's you know, like it just is more weird. No tendons or muscles. I if we go so if they're just controlled by the strings, I think that's too little control for them to have. We're assuming the strings are incredibly long, right? They're coming from the sky. Who knows how long they are? Those are not going to give them that much dexterity. So I think I'll go with like a middle ground where half of their dexterity comes from the strings holding them up, and half of it comes from like muscles or some sort of movement that the puppet can do by itself. But neither can work on its own, right? So if the strings are cut, the puppet doesn't. It technically just say if the strings are cut and the puppet doesn't die. If we're saying it doesn't die, the puppet doesn't have enough strength on its own to move without the strings. And the strings don't have enough energy to move the puppet without the muscles moving as well. Right? We sort of came up with that with the marionette. Because I like the idea of them having sort of moon gravity. Like they can't just fly up and then descend wherever they want, but they're light. They're sort of floaty in their movements and a little they bob up and down like a puppet, but they still have like dexterous enough fingers and to control a gun or something like that. Literally wire work. Yes, basically wire work. Yeah, like an actor strapped to wires, like a really atrophied person. Yeah. So we can say they are sort of like bugs. So it's like an exoskeleton of wood or porcelain with flesh on the inside, which could mean that they do have to eat. Um, I do think it would be interesting if the strings, if they can feel the strings, not like exposed nerves, like fucking uh, uh, Pam from Smiling Friends, but enough that they they can feel the strings. I think that'd be interesting as well. Yeah, porcelain. I don't know how to spell porcelain. Or wood. Also, I do like wood in the fact that they could carve it. And I like the idea of them carving their own face. Like, if the first time they descend from the sky, they're just a blank slate, and they sort of have to make up a person for themselves. And as they do, they start carving away at this empty block to make themselves. They are crab now. Pulls on your exposed strings. I'm gonna be on YouTube instead now? Okay, okay. Maybe they descend from the skies and collect bodies off the battlefield for parts. So, if they're meat on the inside, um, how would they use parts? Because I do think they could replace parts. How? Is it that the string that holds them up sort of runs through their body and it like grows into the shell that is their body? So if a limb gets lost, like the nerves and muscles and whatever that held it on also get cut off, and if they attach a new one, it takes a while for the nerves to grow back into that inanimate limb to start controlling it again. That could be the case, I think. Right? It's nice because it gives them some downtime. I feel like it'd be so much, it'd be too much bullshit if they lose a limb and they just attach another one and keep going right away. You know, there has to be some semblance of balance. Kingsman, what? Grafting like a plant? Love the bike idea for exoskeleton sort of thing. Like maybe the strings push and pull the pressure on the inside to move the way Bug's exoskeleton does. Yeah, I mean, it could be like a sort of pulley system. Like if we're going, what if the strings are more like tendons as well? Like the strings themselves contract and expand. So when the marionette moves, the strings sort of rub in and out of their limbs like a pulley system to pull the movements, and it kind of like has a sort. If you listen close enough, there's sort of like a creaking sound with the string like rubbing the the wood or porcelain. Them being destructible is fine. When they are strung up, they get repaired, replaced, right? Yeah, yeah. What's the extent of them getting repaired? I feel like they would get a blank slate back if they get damaged enough to get pulled up. I feel like they'd come back down, sort of reset. Like if they lose their face or something, they come back with a blank slate, which would sort of be a bummer. I feel like it'd be weird if they just get their already crafted body part back perfectly mended, you know? Because they made it themselves like that. I doubt it that they'd get replaced with an exact copy of it. Remember to drink water, Twin? Thank you, appreciate it. Yeah, so it could be that their head and their head and then sort of just nerves like this, and it comes out the top of their head, and those need to grow into a body. Yeah, I mean every one of them would probably make their own face, so it reflects who they are. So if you see one with a fucked up face, it's most likely going to be a fucked up person. Uh, could they learn change parts faster or adapt to new parts faster? I doubt it. It's kind of like, it's like, is there a way for us to grow hair faster? You know, I don't think there's maybe it's like nutrition based. Like if it's nerves and flesh and blood, I the things they eat would probably help. Uh, and are we saying they have a stomach? So like after their body grows in, they sort of grow a stomach for themselves. Do they shit? Do they poop? I feel like it'd be weirder if they just vomit it back up. Like anything indigestible, they just vomit back up. Would their nerves just suck up nutrients like plants or roots or something? Maybe. How do they carve it without a mirror? They can't. So obviously they'd need a mirror. Please make them poop. I don't like your desperation. I don't like the capital letters. That those concern me. I think I'm out of concern. I'm not gonna make them poop just because you said please. They're not gonna poop. You've changed the course of this concept with your desperation. They don't need to eat camp. Yeah, but like if they don't need to eat. Hmm. So like, okay, can they talk? I don't think they could carve their organs. I think they could carve their limbs, like the exterior, but not the interior. But they could make longer limbs for themselves. Like if they lose a limb or cut one off, I guess they could intentionally make one longer that their body then grows into. My high school biology teacher told me that instead of pooping, plants just accumulate metabolic waste in heartwood. I don't know if that's true or not. Well, I mean, plants don't. I think with plants it works because they don't really eat weird stuff that has like any. They suck up stuff from the soil and shit. You know, I'd be more curious about how like pitcher plants work. Like pitcher plants, does I guess they're just not around for long enough to accumulate enough waste. I feel like the stuff that doesn't dissolve just sort of sits at the bottom of the pitcher plant and just stays there, and the plant eventually croaks and does its cycle anyway, and before it fills up. Like I don't think a pitcher plant will fill up with waste. Or how does that work? I don't know how pitcher plants work. Yeah, having them speak like instruments is really interesting. String instruments. There are some guitarists or like string instrument players that are really good at like making it sound sort of like human voice. Obviously not very uh understandable, but I think that kind of an idea would be really interesting. Have them sound like string instruments. Uh I think that's the fun part about the question of what the strings lead up to is to not know. If it because that's like what defines the puppet people would be their questioning of what is controlling them, and their answer of coming up with this deity they've called the puppeteer, and then different beliefs start appearing and stuff like that. So I think it's more interesting if we don't know where the strings lead rather than if we knew. repetitive sounds, whatnot. I think what counts as uh, so I think that counts as language. Yeah, I feel like they would definitely make up their own language. They would have their own language, and I feel like they would be very what's that called? Very expressive. Not in the face sense, because their face is rigid, but I mean like bodily. They would be very animated, animated. I I feel like their language would rely heavily on movements, not just not just vocal, but also gestural, sign languagey, that kind of stuff. I mean, I don't think they would need lungs in that case. It's more like their strings are getting strum, and they have an empty cavity that sounds reverberates in, which could be their mouth, right? So it could be that, or their chest cavity, and their mouth can form vowels, uh, rudimentary ones, not very complex ones, but enough to like wow wow, get that, and then the strings strumming would get the rest of the pitches. Yeah, like teeth clattering, clicks could also work, chattering, hitting themselves could work as well, like sort of a xylophone type of thing. Like different parts of their body could reverberate differently, so they like do a little bit of the like if their chest cavity like is like a guitar, they do that, finger tapping thing to get some sounds like the clicks and taps. So they are full of fingers that play their strings. I mean, that makes it sound awful. Awful in a good way. But yeah, I like that idea of their neck basically being strung like a guitar, and then some weird like little finger-like organs just strumming the strands. Why would they need to communicate with each other? Well, I don't think the puppeteer that's controlling them makes them like a hive mind. I think it'd be more fun if they can like if they have to communicate with each other. Because if they're a hive mind, then all of them think alike, and then that means we remove that complete the whole part about them questioning what the strings are and coming up with different answers. All that's gone. If they're a hive mind and they don't need to communicate, we don't need to do the string bit. We don't need to have them be hollow. It just loses too much of the interesting parts that this design could have if we didn't do that. Pitches of string are in different places for each other. Them, yeah, that'd be fun. Is this being drawn in Photoshop? No, no, it's Krita. It's Krita. Okay. Do they so we still don't know the question about do they eat? Do they eat? Not sure. We do know that them healing takes time, or uh, reattaching limbs takes time. Strings act like pulleys. Uh, muscles. Exoskeleton. I like the idea of on the outside it's like wood. Like picture this. On the outside they're sort of like blank, right? They're blank, they're just a block of wood. But if you crack them open, on the inside you sort of see the grow pattern where it grew along a shape and sort of more organically, like ribs on the inside like this. I feel like that'd be really fun. But that would also that would just be for their first body. If they replace their parts um with made parts, then those patterns wouldn't be there. Um, so the puppeteer only moves them. We don't know. Do they eat? So they have eyes. They do have. Okay, they do have eyes, which means the eyes need to be flesh to a certain degree. Do they have to shed their hard outer shell to grow like an insect? I don't think they would need to. Like if they want to, they can just stay the same size. I don't think their body, like their organs inside, wouldn't grow to not fit their body anymore. Though I do think they could choose to cut off limbs and stuff to grow themselves. Or do we want it to be the case that they have to like shed their exoskeleton? It is interesting. Yeah, glass eyes could work. Uh, I'm still interested in the idea of flesh on the inside. That might be overdone though. Like it could also just be too easy. Because I think I've definitely seen like puppets with flesh on the inside as like a horror trope. Can they have curses? I don't know. I feel like the curses would just behave on them like they were made of wood, so there's not really anything to be cursed. Right? They could just they sort of just grow on their outer shell, and you can just shave them off because it doesn't get to. Flesh on the inside. Flesh on the inside. Doesn't mean you can't enjoy it. Doesn't fit. Yeah, I mean, it fits in my world, because anything can fit in the damn world, if I like it. I do like flesh inside of puppets. I can't deny the fact that it is just a trope that I really enjoy anytime I get it. I don't really get bored of it either, you know? In Ultra Kill, it's fun to see, like, the weird flesh puppets. I already mentioned the one in Silent Hill. That one was really fun. What other media has flesh puppets? Puppets with flesh inside. There's definitely a few, but I can't think of them at the moment. Flesh outside of puppets? Nah. I think the whole appeal for me with puppets is that they're rigid on the outside. Having them be soft on the outside sort of loses that. Um, when they get another limb or something, maybe they grow another string, like they grow new strings with little helium-filled bulbs at the end, pulling it up towards the sky, or even just as spider silk. I mean, yeah. Or we could do, there's a really niche movie. A lot of my obsession with puppets and marionettes came from a specific movie that most of you probably won't know. There was a movie about marionettes, uh, which completely committed to the idea of the characters being marionettes. I don't remember. Hold on. Let me search up that movie. It's it is very weird, but also incredibly interesting. Like the amount of world building they did. Is it called Strings? Yeah, it is called Strings. Strings. It's called Strings. No, not Mad God. Strings. Literal marionettes. And the world has such interesting. So it's exactly what we've been talking about with strings just going up into the sky. No, none of them know where they come from, and the lo- the logistics of the world are so interesting because, like, for example, the gate of a city is not like a door. The gate is just a bar on top of a wall. Because if there's just anything in front of the string, they can't go in. Which means any houses and stuff like that don't have roofs or have like grooves that you can walk into to allow the strings through. And prisons, this was like my favorite detail, was that prisons are just a a little rail around the top of your head. So they so because they don't need any bars. The prisons are literally just that. There you go, and have you stand in the middle. It can be completely open, but you can't leave because your strings are going up into the sky. It was so interesting. And what they did was when a puppet gave birth. It was so long ago I watched this, so I don't really remember. But I think when a puppet gave birth, it didn't have strings at first, and then the mother would have a string like separate from hers and then attach that to the baby. I think that's how it went. But yeah, that world is so interesting, and that's sort of where I'm taking a lot of my where I got like a fair bit of my puppet obsession from. Was from that movie. And the way they fought each other as well was really fun because they aimed for the strings. In sword combat and stuff like that, they'd aim for the strings, and when the string got cut, they wouldn't be able to use that limb anymore. Or one just descended from the heavens, yeah. But yeah, those were just full-on puppets, though. They didn't have, like, flesh on the inside or whatever we're doing. They were just legit puppets. This is interesting as fuck. I highly recommend checking out the movie. It's all right. Like, it's not a incredible movie, but just the idea of them being puppets, I think, is interesting enough to give it a watch, just to see how they wrestle with that. Yeah, I don't remember if the movie tackles it like the world building around it is solid, and what they do to get around the string thing, but I don't think I don't remember if the movie like uses that as a main plot point, like the wondering where the strings come from, or if it was just like a basic like fantasy story of a hero uh and stuff like that, and they just happen to be puppets. I don't remember. 6 out of 10 purely on concept alone. Yeah, I feel like it's interesting enough to give it a watch for the concept. It just gives you really good ideas. It's like, oh, that's so interesting to just commit to like a puppet world like that. Because normally, like stop motion movies, or it makes me want to see other uh stop motion or like animated movies commit to the bit more. Like it makes me really interested to have stop motion movies that like would commit to them being actual stop motion figures and that being a part of the plot. Or like the Lego movie did that, where the toys being played with was an essential part of the story. You know, I find that interesting, and how that would affect the world. So yeah, like stop motion would be interesting to do that. Claymation would pretty much be the same, just like I guess one uh the box trolls, like that little scene. I don't know if it was just an end credit scene or something, but the box trolls kinda did that. They had a scene where two of the bad guys were like talking to each other and contemplating if like gigantic hands were just dictating our actions and stuff like that, and the stop motion animators just slowly like faded in as you saw them like zooming around at light speed, moving the characters. And the characters were just like, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Oh, wouldn't it be strange if, like, people were animating us? And wouldn't it be so funny if, me waving my hand like this gives them like they have to work so hard to do this or something like that. Yeah, I think it was something like that. Treat the string as deities, animating them. They have their own thoughts and feelings, but life is purely through strings. Yeah. Yeah, it was box trolls. Yeah, yeah. That would have taken them all day. Yeah, exactly, exactly. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about then. Sounds eldritch almost. Yeah, that's the interesting part about it. If it makes the characters have to deal with all these feelings. Flesh or no flesh? That is the question. I don't know. I like flesh, but I think it would be more interesting if it was just the strands. The strands animating them. And, oh, think about this, think about this. So instead of having flesh and blood, we have the strings writhe like parasites when a limb gets cut off. Like, the limb gets cut off and it's just these black tendrils, hair-thin tendrils, just writhing and sort of screeching. Not vocally, but just it looks like they're screeching. It what I'm thinking of is horsehair parasites. Horsehair worm. Yeah, okay. What if we don't go flesh and we just go the strings writhe? Because I feel like that would be so much. Look at this. I'm sorry if you didn't want to look at this, but look at this. These are horsehair worms. They infect like grasshoppers and stuff like that, and when they die, they like come out of their ass. Um, these ones are quite lightly colored. They sort of remind me of some noodles I've eaten. But they also come like in they also get like really dark. Some of them are just black. But yeah, I feel like because the flesh thing makes them more human. If they had teeth and gums and a tongue, then you're like, yeah, okay, I can sort of understand what they are, right? But if you cut a limb off and it's just these worms like bristling and vibrating and flailing around, I feel like that would be even more off-putting. They should be red and blue like veins? I don't think so. I think they should be like tan or black. So then they don't have flesh at all. How would their eyes work? It could be just magic, black and oily. Yeah, like they sort of have like a slipperiness to them. Okay. Um One thing I hate is wriggling worms and stuff like that make me uncomfortable. Like this shit makes me uncomfortable. What skyrockets them into nightmare fuel is when they're slippery, right? Like that's when it's the worst. When it's a worm-like thing that wriggles around and you can't fucking grab it. Like an eel, it has like something on it. So I feel like that would be the worst case scenario would be they wriggle and writhe and you can't grab them because they're slippery. So what if like you cut one of their limbs off and the limb falls to the ground and the remaining like strands that are in the limb sort of scatter and just like dig themselves into the earth or just sort of wriggle and writhe away like snakes. Would they be knotted to form muscle fibers? Yeah, sort of. That'd be sort of how they worked. Are they parasites? I don't know. I don't know. I'm sort of keeping it vague and open. I don't want to like answer the question of what they are exactly. Lenses focusing light. unsuitably horrible. Yeah, I think I'm honestly more down with this than the flesh. I like flesh, right? Don't get me wrong, but I think it adds to the cosmic horror angle of like they act like people. They clearly have feelings and thoughts, but as soon as you go underneath the shell, it's just not there, right? I the if they had organs or blood or they bled, it would give you at least some form of comfort to know that there's something to ground them. But if they don't have any of that, it makes it worse, kinda. Tapeworm-like strings would be more disgusting. Tapeworm? I think tapeworms are too uh detailed. I feel like having them be more like just strings is creepier. Because then it seems like strings at first until they move. Tapeworm. Could look at like gym failure muscle rips, where like the bicep disconnects and just bunches up. Oh, I've seen enough of those. I don't. They make me squeamish every single time. But yeah, it I can just imagine the tendons or the strings inside of them would be under a lot of tension. Same as muscles, right? But they're really tense to like pull the limbs and stuff. So if you cut it at the right moment, it sort of makes this loud popping sound like when a guitar string snaps because they're all under so much tension. I feel like the string would detach itself and just like fly into the sky with momentum because it just loses all that tension. Pry open the tank hatch. Yeah, that as well. A TV cable looking mess. I think I know which movie you're talking about. It was like a movie where a family was stuck in a house all of a sudden, like walls appeared. Weird, like indestructible walls appeared outside their house, and the TV started giving them instructions. The strings are giant dandelions, fully bloomed, that are super high in the sky, making it look like clouds. Puppet flies off. It's just one of the dandelions. That is a cool visual. Kind of makes me think of like Jean Jacket from Nope. Await further instruction. Yeah, that's the movie. That was the movie. I don't know if that was just a thing the TV said in a movie or if that was the actual name of the movie as well. Puppet used the music on Sound of Strings to work like vocal cords. Oh yeah, we've already figured that out with them using Are they edible? I hope not. Would the puppets carve their wood-like tattoos? Yeah, of course. They decorate themselves like marionettes. I don't think they themselves would have any sort of mana attracting patterns. I feel like everything sort of happens through the strings, like whatever they're attached to probably fuels them enough. Hold on. Let me look up what the horsehair worm looks like up close. I mean, it could be that they just look like black strings, but if you zoom in a lot, you can start getting some detail. I'm looking at horsehair worms, and they are quite featureless. They sort of have a weird mouth. I don't even know if it is a mouth. So this is like a zoomed in picture. They sort of have like a black line going through them. But then they also is this some this looks like the little kid from fucking Smiling Friends. Or this looks like Glep. Why is it? Eh. Why does it have this? Eh. Why does it have that? Glepworm. Oh, it is Glep. Yeah. Is it just Glep? Parasitic Glep is not real. He can't hurt you. Whoops. Snail eyes, perhaps, or something like that is just creepy, or find it creepy how they come out. Um, I don't know. We could do like those parasitic worms that inhabit snails' eyes, that kind of thing. Go deeper into the parasite angle. So it could be that their eyes are like like something like this, like brighter colors. It's sort of pulsing, maybe. Oh, the parasitic tongue in fish is fun too, yeah. Do they have to worry about wood rot? Oh yeah, for sure. That just seems like a given. So that they'd have to worry about maintaining their bodies because they're made of wood. And I do think I'm going with wood. Maybe some, like, you can replace your body with porcelain if you'd like, but I think they'd start off as wood because the whole idea is they carve themselves and their identity. What if it's a giant jellyfish? I mean, we could pose a lot of questions about what the puppeteer is. I think the fun is to not know. So any one of the theories could be it. I don't know it myself. Like I haven't fucking. I just came up with this idea today, so it's not like I know or have already decided what the hell the puppeteer is. Just kind of leaving it up to whatever. So hold on. I'm kind of thinking. So, what would somebody who fully committed to the bit of the puppeteer and the great play look like? Like, if there's some sort of cultist or obsessed with this idea, they would obviously put up some sort of performance, right? They would dress up like a marionette or some sort of character, over exaggerated, and play their role. But would there be some sort of symbols on them or something like that that they would use? I mean, the symbol of the puppeteer could be a cross, because those literally, you know. Um, I mean, what comes to mind is like the happy and sad mask that's used in plays, but I feel like that's sort of a little easy. He's a genius. What? Puppets, but also have free wills since they carve themselves and make their own identity? Yeah, kinda. I missed it. Could you post it again? Somebody posted something good apparently. Comedy and tragedy? Yeah, that one. Hold on. I mean, yeah, the Greek masks are the comedy and tragedy masks, no? What if a bunch of strings that bound together to make a noose symbolizes giving their life for performance? Could work. Do they play instruments? I don't know. Um, hmm, be a good symbol. Mark Twain stop motion movie? Oh yeah, with the devil on the weird island thing. Oh, wonderful. Nightmare fuel. Cool, cool. How do clothes fit these guys? I feel like their clothes would be really ill-fitting. A lot of, like, too big looking. Puppet people aren't really bulky, they're more thin. I'll be right back. I'm back. So the armor's just like carved out of wood. It's not even metal. Kid playing with the puppets like how kids torture ants. I mean, yeah, it could be the case as well. They would, hold on, I need to write this down. So they would look really worn. Uh, Many layers. I can sort of, so they can't go inside or cover themselves with a roof, which means their clothes are exposed to all the elements. So they would just look like shit. The clothes would look really bad. I really want to get better at drawing sort of this tattered, worn look that a lot of FromSoft games have with their clothing, where it's just layers upon layers of tattered cloth. So I'll probably look up some of those and try to emulate them. And also having them wear multiple layers to me makes kind of sense if throughout their life they're like picking up different roles and just putting it over the ones they like, just replacing the role they were already playing, so they keep like changing the clothes they wear and it just gets bulkier and bulkier. Oh, here's a good reference. Like this. I like this. It's just, I'm gonna be a soldier now. And then he just takes a random uniform from some soldier, just puts it on, because why not? This is... I like the proportions of this guy a lot. Hold on. This one. Really big clothes, really small hands and head. It's nice. How would they deal with trees? Or are they a no-go too? Yeah, I don't think they'd go close to trees. Wouldn't really work out for them well. Just gotta find more images of how clothes sit on puppets. I don't think these are puppets. I think they're just sculptures, but still, I like the way the clothes look. The proportions as well are really nice. Probably by the same person. Seem similar. Um, I like this. Yeah, I guess it's a result of them being small. Cause puppets are small, but the fabric is the same thickness, so it doesn't have the same weight at that size, which causes it to sort of look larger and lift off the body more. It doesn't really translate into our concept, because ours are human-sized, but still, I want to keep some of that volume that a lot of puppets' clothes have, where they just sort of are really big and oversized looking. Kind of floaty. This one isn't that good. This one's, well, it's They fit too well. This fits too well. Vibing with some aspects of it. This is a doll, right? This one. I'm just picking up anything that might have some sort of interesting thing going on. The more the better. The hell is this? It's interesting, that's what it is. Interesting is good. This one's weird too. Um, hmm. I like the texture on the cloth on this. I feel like that's sort of the direction it would go if they're left outside for long enough. Just filling up the page. That. The hell is this? From fucking Jack Sparrow? I like the very vibrant scraps of fabric look of this as well. That's really good. This, like lots of pattern, just way too much stuff. idea what this is. It's interesting. I really like this art. This one looks really nice. I think that's all I got for now. I think it's enough to work off of, though. It's a solid enough foundation, I think. Can get something out of it. Oh, I just gotta merge it. There you go, and then I can put it outside the canvas. I remember how to do that. Where was it? It was somewhere. Hold on. Let me search it back up again. Find it again. It's the reference image tool pin icon, which allows you to import, move, and scale images above your canvas. Pin. Pin. Reference image tool. How do I use it? Above your canvas. Reference image tool. The reference image tool is a replacement for the reference image doc. Disk as reference can then be moved around for the canvas. Find it. Oh, there it is. Ta-da! Got it. Found it. Okay, where was that? Edit. Paste as reference image. Okay, cool. Thanks. There you go. So I can use this to move it around. It's above the canvas. Awesome. It's very useful. Thank you very much. Try to get good at drawing. Any tips? I have no idea. Just draw. Bunch. Draw what you like. I like the proportions of this king guy here. This one. Because the head is like awkwardly long. I find that interesting. I think I want to do something in that sense. And I also like that the head is big. Or like the neck is... I guess the head's not big, it's that the neck is thin. And then it sort of just widens out into a big old body. I'm having a hard time thinking about how they stand, because the thing is, I'm inclined to make characters stand comfortably, right? And sort of have their weight on one foot or like properly uh, standing. But the whole idea of them being puppets is that they're kind of light on their feet. And puppets never really stand right. They're always like a little... just fucking... You know, like they're always like a little off. They don't ever sit right. Because I feel like that'd be important to try and capture with them, is that the way they move just looks wrong. Like they're not moving like they're supposed to. Twisted limbs? Not necessarily twisted, just awkward. More like tippy toes, I guess. Like a fucking Disney princess just running up to a scenic view. Oh, how beautiful. Tippy toe. What? Do they even put new clothes on when their strings are in the way? Maybe they just nail them to the front or something? I feel like they just sew the clothes around them. Or just cut holes and then just deal with it. Like you could just make the torso part and then just sew the sleeve around the string. Cod piece. You gotta have a cod piece. That's a little too big. My bad. I gotta reduce your cod piece. I apologize. Yeah, but sort of like this, like lanky and really long looking and light looking. I do think they are alive. But the question of them being puppeteered is part of the interest. Like if their actions are fully theirs or not. Ants never leave. What the fuck are you guys talking about? What about ants? Where are there ants? Yeah, something like this. He seems like a very generic one, just one that's taken up the role of a soldier. But I imagine there would be people like that. Like, there's comfort in numbers and joining something that already exists. That's how, like maybe there's a group of them that have sort of formed an army pretty much and roleplay as soldiers in the trenches. They are LARPing. They are the true LARPers of the world. Genuinely. Everybody else is fighting for their lives, and these guys are just fucking role-playing soldiers. What the fuck are you doing, man? I don't even think they would be on either side of the war. They just are going with the idea of soldier and just doing whatever seems like soldiers would be doing. Would there be any friendly ones of these? I feel like yes. There definitely would be. I feel like it'd be a shame if there weren't, because it'd be a missed opportunity to converse with them and find out what the hell is going on. Um, Although they wouldn't be able to speak English or like a human language, their bodies wouldn't allow it, so you'd need to like have one that is able to write or uh, teach one to write. First stream, welcome, welcome. We are currently working on puppet people um, that sort of inhabit the trenches and LARP as soldiers and other things. They are LARPers. That's what we've discovered, and I'm committing, uh, fully embracing it. They are LARPing. What? What happened? Huh? What happened? Something disconnect? Could puppet people perform Hamlet? I mean, yeah, they definitely could. I feel like with how they are very focused on like creating their own character, they would definitely be very invested in material expression. Like just collecting things and hoarding things would be very interesting to them because it's just another way of, showing who you are. Like trinkets and little knickknacks and stuff like that. I feel like they would have a ton of them because it just makes sense. Anything that they could get their hands on that could show a sliver of them. Hamilton, not Hamlet. Oh, whoops. Read it wrong. I guess they could, but Hamilton doesn't exist in the world. Sad to burst your bubble. If anybody in the chat was thinking that Hamilton might exist in the world, sorry to say that probably doesn't. Uh, America as a whole doesn't exist. So, God, I'm so sorry to say this, but America does not exist in my fantasy world building project. So Hamlet does exist? No, that doesn't exist either. Would they have eyeballs? I feel like eyeballs are worse than not having them. Like black voids is one thing, but like dead looking wooden eyeballs seem worse. Like I imagine them being sort of like a billiard ball or pool ball inside of a socket, just a hard shell. And there's a hole in them that sort of acts as the pupil, but it's just a hole. Don't know what's in the hole. I think this dude, this dude wanted a bowl cut. This dude wanted a bowl cut. He's bowl cut material. There you go. This dude created himself, and he was like, you know what fits me? You know what is so me? A bowl cut. That's what he gave himself. Like the fucking things from Elden Ring. Statues with the bowl cuts. Comfiest stream ever. Hello, guys. Hello. What are you laughing at, huh? You're laughing at him? Are you laughing at him? Hold on. Give me a sec. Hold on. Are you laughing? Okay, fuck. God damn it. Who are you laughing at, huh? who who are you laughing at? He's Jesus. That's him. That's who he is, the bowl cut. You laughing at his bowl cut? I want to try and color it. I really like the color of this one. It's like it's wood underneath and then painted white. Just want to see how that would look. Wood. And like badly painted. It's coming off. A lot of spots. Under the eyes would be fine. But the nose would definitely wear off. Under the brow would be fine. so goofy, but I feel like it could work. Not with this guy's fucking bowl cut. Yeah, it could work. The eyes would definitely not be able to be painted, because those would just rub off. I doubt that'll last. I sort of want a gunk coming out of them. Like the oily slipperiness that's on the wires would sort of seep out of, like where it's rubbing against the grain or the wood. It could come out the eye sockets and the mouth, and like here around the neck, it'd start to like yellow. Could be interesting, and it could also be heavily used in the eyes to like lubricate them, because they're basically just wooden balls. And this dude needs some eyes. Let me give him some peepers. There you go. How wonderful. Lovely. You can see the beautiful world now. You can see the beauty of it. Georgie. Harpers think they're tough until they go up against a tripod. Yeah. How lovely. Yeah, I'll work on this more later. You know what I feel like doing? I feel like playing Slay the Spire. That's what I feel like doing. I'm gonna go slay this fire. Uh, I'll end the stream. But yeah, I'll fiddle around with these dudes more later. I also still got fucking Oswald to do. Oswald's coming along nicely. I haven't touched him. Haven't touched him. I haven't touched the drawing since yesterday. I just erased the patterns and then I'm making it on a separate layer so I can like mess around with uh what the patterns on him are. But yeah, he's coming along nice. The addiction, yeah, my bad. I'm addicted. I can't help it.